What's up, everybody? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button to the Hoops Tonight YouTube channel, and then follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter so you guys don't miss any of our content over the course of this season. All right, let's talk some basketball. Good win for the Pacers. Pretty much controlled it throughout. They led by double figures for the majority of the game. Huge efforts from TJ McConnell and Obi Toppin off the bench. TJ McConnell, 20 points and 9 assists. Kept getting into the paint and just making kick-out reads, those little pull-up jumpers that are kind of like his MO, right? Those little short, little drifting fadeaway jumpers after he's gotten a good head of steam downhill. He also hit 2 threes in this game, which is not really what he's known for, but he hit a couple big ones in the second half. Obi Toppin, 21 points and 8 rebounds. Really want to just shout out Obi Toppin in general. He turned himself into a reliable NBA player in a way that he wasn't back in New York, right? Like, became a much more reliable catch and shoot threat. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well in this series, but did throughout the regular season. And then identified the ability that he had to help this team offensively, right? Playing alongside Tyrese Haliburton, running his lane in transition, cutting along the baseline when his defender as the low man tags the roller. He's just a natural play finisher for Tyrese Haliburton. Big time game from him off the bench. Looking out at the first round series for the Pacers, 6 players averaged double figures for them. Some callbacks to the Steve Nash Phoenix Suns teams from the mid to late 2000s. They'd have like 5 to 6 guys average double figures, and they'd only have like one guy in the 20s. For them, that was Sean Marion. For this team, it's Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam averaged 22, 9, and 4 in the series on 55% shooting. Just did an absolute number on Brook Lopez whenever he had the opportunity. A lot of timely shot making in the mid-range area as well. Tyrese Haliburton's first playoff series as the number one option, 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists, 44% from the field, 30% from 3 on 9 attempts per game. Really struggled from 3. That's something that he's going to have to kind of figure out again. Like, he was shooting it so well at the start of the season. That's such an important ability for him in terms of scoring and pick and roll and beating switches when he gets slower footed bigs out on the perimeter. I thought Miles Turner was the key to the series, though. So many teams ignore Miles Turner to try to protect the paint. It is like something you almost have to do. The pick and pop big, if you choose to take that away, it just opens up so many issues for you on the back line. He's going to need to hit some shots, and he did. And he attempted 7 3-pointers per game, knocked him down at 44%. Just I thought his shot making from the perimeter in this series just put Milwaukee in a total bind in terms of what they were able to do defensively. Now, obvious mitigating factors, right? Like Dame and Giannis were out, but they took care of business and they won a series they were supposed to win. Now, the Knicks are going to be a challenge, as I talked about earlier. For those who watch this in a breakout clip, I'll go over it again. But the Pacers defensive rebounded pretty well against Milwaukee, about 73%. But that is a weakness there. They were one of the very bottom teams in the league before the Siakam trade. And then I think they were 21st after the Siakam trade. So still bottom 10 in the league. The Knicks are a team that are relentless attacking the offensive glass. 20 more offensive rebounds tonight against the Sixers. They also have a lot of speed at guard. So your Nembhard, Nesmith, Haliburton, TJ McConnell guard speed equation that you bring to the table, like, get ready for Josh Hart and Deuce McBride and Dante DiVincenzo and Jalen Brunson. It's going to be a battle of the guards here in the second round. But those Knicks guards are super, super physical. They have a strength advantage, which I think is going to be something you see over the course of the series. And again, the Knicks are just going to pound the ball inside on the offensive glass as much as possible. We will have a full series preview on that matchup coming out over the course of the next couple of days. On the Bucks front, obviously a lost season for a bunch of reasons. Even with the injuries, like, you're 17-19 under Doc going into this playoff series. So even if you want to account for the Giannis and Dame injuries, which obviously are a factor here, you were 17-19 under Doc, and you got your ass kicked by the Pacers even when you were healthy this year. So this year kind of feels like a lost year in a bunch of different ways, and I understand the pessimism surrounding that. But here's the upside. I thought Dame looked great in the postseason. His pull-up jumper, which was super inconsistent all season, he was able to make at a much higher clip, at least while the games were in question. Obviously struggled to get some lift in tonight's game, but I thought, he hit a bunch of shots in the fourth quarter that kind of fixed his shooting percentage. I thought he looked like he had pretty good lift and was getting good separation. Dame and Giannis is still an excellent foundation. You just have to get more athletic at center, and you have to get more athletic on the perimeter. If you guys remember, on Monday this week, we had the Nerd Sesh guys on, and we talked about a couple of potential options. And one of the options that we put out there was like, what if you call the Thunder? The Thunder, I'm sure, would love to have a center look where they could put Chet at power forward, right? And actually have like real physical size on the floor, not to mention a veteran presence. While at the same time, if there's a team that's too fast for Brook to be on the floor, you can take Brook off the floor and play your traditional lineups, right? Like a team like the Thunder might very well be interested in a presence like Brook Lopez. What if you call them and try to get one of their younger perimeter players that are athletic and play both ends of the floor, like an Aaron Wiggins, like a Kenrich Williams, right? Like those are guys that I'd be looking at. Just try to get younger, more athletic two-way players on the perimeter, because you can't do much better as a foundation than Dame and Giannis. Dame's still a top 15 player in this league. Giannis is, in my opinion, the third best player in the league still. So like you have a really good foundation. And when you have players like that, you generate small, achievable roles. And when you bring talented young players that have skill on offense and athleticism and size on defense, you can craft as a coach achievable roles for them next to your superstars and give yourself a better chance of hanging next year. Because at the end of the day, like it just was, they were way too unathletic. And as soon as Giannis left, it was beyond the point of no return and the ability to handle that sort of thing. And again, even with the Pacers, there's a reason why you went 1-4 against the Pacers, even when Giannis was healthy. And it's because even when Giannis is on the floor, you're way too slow, you're way too old. And so that, again, you know what you need to do going into this offseason. I'm not one of those guys that's like, this thing is over. You got a great foundation. You just got to make some tweaks on the fringes. All right, guys, that is all I have for tonight. As always, I sincerely appreciate you guys for supporting the show. I already recorded today with Adam Mares from DNVR a full series preview on Nuggets Wolves. Still have PTSD apparently from that series. From the Denver, Minnesota. That video is coming out tomorrow. I also have, I think, 19 clips of film that I'm going to be recording for a film session tomorrow on that series. That'll be coming out later in the afternoon. And then after that, I'm going to get to work on Pacers. It's playoff season. It's a grind. Going to get working on the Pacers-Knicks series. I'll have a full series preview on that. And then tomorrow night, I believe we have the Clippers-Mavs Game 6. And then is that the only game that we have tomorrow? Let's see. No, we also have Cavs Magic Game 6. So we're going to have a doubleheader tomorrow night. We'll be going live on YouTube after the final buzzer of Clippers-Mavs. I will see you guys then.